In June 2026, at China's International Financial Expo in Shanghai, Alibaba Cloud unveiled a platform called Dianjin, a financial-grade AI agent that can run backtests, train models, write research reports, execute risk controls, and handle compliance checks end-to-end. Not a chatbot, a digital employee. The numbers are real. Zhenwu AI chips deployed across over 150 financial institutions, banks, securities firms, insurers, fund managers, 560,000 chips shipped. CITIC Securities super researcher generates 10,000-word deep research reports from a 100,000 report knowledge base used 40,000 times a month. China Reinsurance compressed claims processing from 2 days to under 3 minutes. The technology works. The deployment does not. Zhang Chi, who runs Alibaba Cloud's financial division, said it plainly. The biggest barrier is not whether AI can do the job, it is whether institutions dare to let it. 4 gates sit between capability and deployment. And those gates are not technical, they are structural. This is the permission disconnect. Access to technology is not permission to deploy it. Position in the permission chain decides return. Not just in the capital chain, as we saw with DeepSeek, but in the deployment chain too. Let me walk through the 4 gates, because they map exactly onto the structural bottleneck every industry faces when AI moves from demo to production. Gate 1. Untrusted inputs. Financial data is noisy. Public data sources are inconsistent. An AI agent making credit decisions or risk assessments needs clean, verified, auditable data. Garbage in, garbage out, except in finance. The garbage has regulatory consequences. Dianjin addresses this with direct connections to trusted data sources like Wind and Hunsun. But that is a feature of one platform, not a solution for the industry. Most institutions still feed AI models with unstructured, unaudited data. Gate 2. Uncontrolled execution. Once an AI agent enters a live business process, it touches contracts, invoices, internal systems. The stakes go from interesting demo to operational risk. This is the gate that kills most AI deployments. The agent can generate a research report. But can it file a compliance document? Can it execute a trade? Can it approve a loan? Each of those actions requires authorization infrastructure that does not exist at scale. Dianjin's answer is a financial-grade sandbox agents execute in isolated environments. Operations are logged, credentials are separated. But again, this is one platform's architecture. The authorization layer for the industry does not exist. Gate 3. Untraceable processes. Financial regulators require every decision to be explainable and auditable. AI's black box nature conflicts with this requirement directly. CITIC Securities built a 5-level standard for digital employees. L1 is basic automation with full human oversight. L5 is full autonomy human intervention only in extreme cases. They have 24 digital employees in production. But here is the key detail. The L5 tier, where AI acts fully autonomously, remains empty. Not because the technology is not ready, because the permission infrastructure for autonomous AI decisions in finance does not exist. The standard exists. The permission to use its highest tier does not. Gate 4. Unclear liability. When an AI agent makes a wrong credit decision, who is responsible? The bank? The AI vendor? The regulator? Zhang Chi put it directly. The responsibility boundary is unclear. This is not a legal technicality. It is a structural gap. Without clear liability assignment, no institution will grant full autonomy to an AI agent. The risk is personal, not institutional. The individual who authorizes deployment carries the downside. The upside accrues to the organization. That asymmetry keeps every AI deployment in assist mode, not execute mode. 4 gates. Not one of them is about whether the technology works. Every one of them is about whether the permission structure exists to let it work at scale. This is what makes Dianjin such a revealing case. It is not a story about AI capability. It is a story about the gap between capability and permission. The platform has the technology. The institutions have the demand. What sits between them is a gate structure that no single company can build alone. If you watch the episode on Wall Street's AI permission gap, this pattern will feel familiar. There, 54% of financial firms were deploying AI agents in production. But 1 in 3 had no audit-ready logs. The best AI model for finance tasks got 64% of answers right on the industry benchmark. The technology was ahead of the permission infrastructure. Banks had agents that could draft, none had agents that could execute autonomously. The governance layer between capability and deployment simply did not exist. China's financial AI faces the same bottleneck from a different direction. In the West, the gap is between what agents can do and what banks are allowed to let them do. In China, the gap has an additional layer between what agents can do and what the operating environment permits them to do. Data localization rules restrict how information moves inside your own company. Sector licensing adds another gate. Even after you register a presence, getting approval for specific AI-driven product lines takes a separate process. The front door is open, the operating rooms are locked. Same bottleneck, different gates. The permission layer is the structural scarcity in both markets. And it is where value accumulates. Here is the key move. AI infrastructure is no longer scarce. Models are converging. Chips are shipping at scale. 560,000 Zhenwu chips across 150 institutions. The supply bottleneck is solved. What is scarce now is the permission layer. Who can let AI execute what actions, under what conditions, with what accountability? This is not a cybersecurity sector repricing. It is a repricing of AI governance and permission infrastructure, the authorization layer, the audit trail, the liability framework. Think about cybersecurity. The market moved from build walls to build governance. Walls kept getting breached. The cost of each breach kept rising. The companies that built governance infrastructure, audit logs, access controls, incident response frameworks captured enormous value. The same migration is happening in AI. From capability to permission. The permission infrastructure companies are the next structural scarcity. Here is what makes the permission layer structurally different from every other bottleneck we have discussed. It is not built by regulators. It is not built by governments. It is being built by the companies that own the capability and embedded directly into the distribution architecture of AI itself. When a frontier lab puts geographic and entity-based access controls into its API, the API becomes a permission instrument. Not a product, a gate, the architecture of that gate. Who gets access, on what terms, with what restrictions determines who captures value in the deployment chain. This is not a policy story, it is a market structure story. The gate between AI capability and enterprise deployment is being built by the companies that own the capability. There is a parallel inside China's own market. The same June 2026 Financial Expo where Dianjin launched also saw Ant Group debut its Agentar platform. 10 specialized financial AI agents covering investment research, risk control, insurance claims, and marketing. Both platforms solve the same problem from opposite directions. Alibaba Cloud's Dianjin, compliance first, triple compliance firewalls, full audit trails, sandboxed execution, then efficiency. Ant's Agentar. Capability, first agents learn from practitioner experience, accumulate judgment paths into reusable skill packages, then governance. 2 strategies, same destination, making institutions dare to deploy. The permission layer in AI is being built from multiple directions simultaneously. Frontier labs control who accesses their models. Domestic platforms build compliance into their architectures. Financial institutions create their own internal standards, like CITIC Securities L1L5 framework. None of these layers are coordinated. All of them are tightening. Position decides return. In the permission chain, the question is not who has the best model. It is who controls the gate between capability and deployment. If access is not permission, then the investment question changes. Most cross-border investment analysis starts with market size and growth rate. Those numbers are real. They are also accessible to everyone who reads the same reports. The differentiating question is, where is the gate in this value chain, and who controls it? 3 positions in the permission chain. Position 1, the gate builder. Companies that create the permission infrastructure, data compliance platforms, AI governance tools, audit and authorization frameworks. They do not compete for market share inside the market. They sell the infrastructure that everyone else needs to operate. Dianjin is a gate builder. Its value proposition is not AI capability, Quinn provides that. Its value is the compliance architecture that lets institutions actually deploy AI in production. Without it, you have a fast car with no road. Position 2, the gateholder. Companies that hold structural positions in the permission chain, licensed financial intermediaries, domestic data center operators, entities with pre-existing regulatory relationships. They are not the most innovative companies. They are the most necessary ones. Foreign capital enters through them, not around them. Position 3, the gate seeker. Companies that enter the market through the front door, but must then navigate the gates one by one. Most foreign investors and most portfolio companies of cross-border funds sit here. The risk is not market risk. It is permission risk, the probability that operational constraints erode the investment thesis over time. Position decides return, not just in the capital chain or the deployment chain, in the permission chain too. Test it. When you evaluate a China growth story, do not start with the growth rate, start with the gate. Where is the permission bottleneck? Does the company hold it or just walk toward it? What happens to the operating model when the data rules tighten or the API access gets cut? Same framework, different chain. Position decides return. The technology works. AI agents can run financial workflows end to end. Dianjin proved it. CITIC Securities digital employees process 40,000 requests a month. China Reinsurance compressed claims from 2 days to 3 minutes. The numbers are real, but between capability and deployment sit 4 gates. Trusted inputs, controlled execution, traceable processes, clear liability. Not one of them is a technology problem. Every one of them is a permission problem. AI infrastructure is no longer scarce. Models are converging. Chips are shipping at scale. The supply bottleneck is solved. What is scarce now is the permission layer. Who can authorize AI to act? Under what conditions, with what accountability? This is not a cybersecurity sector repricing. It is a repricing of AI governance and permission infrastructure. The authorization layer, the audit trail, the liability framework. Think about cybersecurity. The market moved from build walls to build governance. The same migration is happening in AI, from capability to permission.
Same bottleneck we saw on the Wall Street. Different gates, same structural scarcity. Position decides return. In the capital chain, in the deployment chain, in the permission chain. Next episode, we move from the permission gate to a single company that sits at the intersection of all 3 gates. China's memory chip champion, CXMT. Just a few for the largest semiconductor IPO in China's history. 295 billion RMB, 719% revenue growth, and a technology gap in HBM. That is the clearest permission bottleneck in the entire semiconductor chain. See you then.